What a weekend for the Philadelphia Phillies as they get swept by the Pittsburgh Pirates. Calm down. Resist the urge to panic. You want to, I can see. You want to panic. You want to sit there and sound the alarms. You want to do what everybody else is doing, whether it be on Twitter, YouTube, sports radio, print, blogs. You want to panic. Don't do it. Resist that urge. Because I've watched a lot of baseball in my life, and if there's one thing I'm confident about, it's the fact that none of it's going to matter. The Phillies will right the ship. They will be fine. That I am so confident about. They have way too much talent on this team to not right the ship. They will be fine. RELAX. Relax. Because all of those people out there that are sounding the alarms, that are freaking out, that are losing their shit because the Phillies are 1-9 in their last 10, they were on a 5-game losing streak. All those people will be back here next year doing the same thing. Might not be this exact time, but they'll be back. You know how I know? Because they were doing it last year and the year before. I feel like this is like an evergreen video with me at this point where I come on and I say like, hey, there's really nothing to panic about. You got to chill out. Maybe the subject matter changes, whether it be Alec Bohm. It's one of my first videos I think I did was like Alec Bohm, like, hey, everybody's losing their shit about Alec Bohm. Relax, he'll be fine. He's fine. Is he a world beater? Is he an all-star? No, but he's fine. And it dawned on me, and I need to thank Mark Zuckerberg for this, because this was like my eureka moment. This was my epiphany. This was my aha. And this happened, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years ago. Because Mark Zuckerberg created a thing called Facebook. I have one of those. And Facebook will alert you to memories, things that happened in your past, things that you said, whether it be a post, or somebody wrote on your wall, what have you. And the things that I was writing in 2010 about the Philadelphia Phillies, you would think they won 60 games that year. Because as they were mired in one of these losing streaks, I was hitting the panic button. And I was acting like it is the NFL season. I was sitting there and acting like they had lost 3 games in an NFL season in a row instead of losing 3 games in a Major League Baseball season. And that's the thing that we forget as fans. Even though we know that Major League Baseball is 162 games, when the Phillies get mired in one of these slumps, we sound the alarm because we can't disassociate a losing streak in baseball from a similar losing streak in another sport. That could be catastrophic. If you lose 10 games or 9 out of your 10 games in hockey or basketball, that is close to catastrophic because it's an 82-game season. 162-game season, completely different. You're allotted the ability to have one of these losing streaks, and the Phillies do it every year, yet we ignore that. We ignore the fact that this happens every single year. You don't believe me? You don't. I'll ask you, what was the best stretch of Phillies baseball you probably have ever watched? Give you a couple more seconds. Oh, yeah. No, it was 2008 to 2011, right? Remember that? Golden era of Phillies baseball. They had the best first baseman in franchise history, the best shortstop, the best second baseman. Oh, God. I mean, what a time to be alive, right? There's no way that those teams, there's no way that Jimmy Rollins and Cole Hamels and Chase and Ryan Howard and Chooch, there's no way those teams were in losing streaks similar, right? You're fucking wrong. Let me just read them off to you. 2008, year they won the World Series. Don't know if you're aware of that. 2008, they were mired in a 3-11 stretch between June 14th and June 29th, was capped off by a 6-game losing streak. 3-11. Now you have to remember, at this point, they are in a dogfight with the Mets for the division. While they had won the division the previous year, a lot of fans, myself included, are sitting there going like, yeah, how lucky was that, though? You know, like everything had to break the correct way. And this Phillies team, I don't know if they're going to be good enough to win a wild card and get the wild card spot. So they need to win the division. And this is catastrophic. And they won the fucking World Series. Okay, next year. They're reigning World Series champs. You know, they get Cliff Lee at the deadline. Everything's looking good. But what happened before that? There's no way that this team, again, with the leadership core and, you know, the fact that they won a World Series, there's no way this team once again got mired in a losing streak. They did. They absolutely did. June 5th to July 3rd, almost a month, the team went 7-17. 7-17. Capped off by a 6-game losing streak. What did they do that? I forget. Got to think about it. They went to the World Series that year. Yeah. Now I remember. Yeah. Okay. All right. 2010. 2010, they loaded up. If you remember. 2010, they absolutely loaded up. Because they got, you know, the 3 aces, and then they got a 4th ace in there. And there's no way that pitching rotation and the leadership once again and those players, there's no way they hit a snag, right? Wrong. July 15th to July 22nd, they were 1-6, 4-game losing streak. Not nearly as bad as previous years, no doubt, but still, 1-6. You don't think Phillies fans were sounding the alarm? They were. Okay, 2011, probably the best team I've ever witnessed. By far. Travesty, they didn't win a championship with this squad because they were loaded. They won over 100 games. If you're winning over 100 games, you're not losing too many games, right? You're not going to be mired in a losing streak. Wrong. They were. September 11th to September 25th, they went 4-12. 4-12. Capped off by an 8-game losing streak. Now, you could be going, well, Pat, I mean, they clinched a division at that point. Who were they even playing? No. We all know the talking point during that losing stretch between September 11th and September 25th when they went 4-12. The talking point amongst Phillies fans is, oh my God, you can't go into the playoffs like this. I know the team's really good and everything, but they're losing a lot of baseball games. You can't go into the playoffs riding an 8-game losing streak. And unfortunately, they end up hitting a hot Cardinals team in a best of 3 series. They end up losing. But that's the talking point. That team lost 8 in a row, including games to the Nationals. All right, that was years ago, right? New game, baseball sped up, things have changed. Okay, what about 2022? The most recent World Series trip. You know, magical season. What happened there? Well, you've got 2 you can choose from. I'll let you decide. July 10th to July 27th, they went 4-8, capped off by a 4-game losing streak. Does that compare to the beginning of the season in April, when from April 10th to April 24th, they went 4-10 with a 4-game losing streak? 4-10. 4-8, 4-10. This happens every year. Every year, your baseball team is going to get mired in a stretch where they look like they can't hit anything, where they can't buy a win, where if their pitcher goes out there and throws a no-hitter, then your team isn't putting up any runs, it's going into the extras and your bullpen's blowing it. This happens every year. And yet every year, we forget. And every year, we sound the alarms and we say, oh my God, you got to do something. And we turn into that gif, poking the animal. Do something. Here, how about you do something? How about you not panic for once? How about you realize this is baseball? That every single team is going to be in one of these. They're going to be mired in one of these stretches. I am uber confident that in a month from now, in 2 months from now, we could laugh about this, but we won't because we choose to forget. And that's the problem. Everybody out there that you're listening to, that you're reading, that is sounding the panic button, that's smashing that panic button, sounding the alarms, screaming from the rooftops, oh my God, this team, you're not going to be able to fix it, all the holes. You know what they're going to be doing in a year from now? They're going to be back. The first sign of danger, this is what we do. Look inward. Fix yourself. This is laughable. Happens every year. Thank you for watching. Hit the buttons. You know which ones. I need subscribers. I'm going to go get ready for tonight's game. Hopefully they win. And if they don't, guess what? I'm still not going to be panicking because that's baseball.